1 out of 4 Americans will die of cancer, more than 1,500 a day. In a year, more than 500,000 people. Meanwhile, millions of children and adults all over the world are in a battle for their survival, hoping for a treatment or a cure. This concern has led a group of people to form a special foundation. Their mission? Fund basic scientific research to find a cure for cancer. In Southern California, a panel of internationally renowned scientists has assembled as part of an extraordinary effort.
As I said, this is a relatively new area of investigation for her in the panel.
They are guiding one of the world's most innovative charities, Concern Foundation.
Concern Foundation is funding basic scientific research.
Every great experiment starts with an idea, with a theory. We fund the minds in the laboratories that look through the microscope and come up with the theories.
Hailing from prestigious institutions such as Cedars-Sinai, Johns Hopkins, UCLA, City of Hope, UC Irvine, USC Norris, Karolinska Institute, and the Lautenberg Center. Today, the Scientific Review Committee of Concern Foundation evaluates grant applications submitted by young scientists who are determined to conquer cancer now.
When we review grants, we are peering into the minds of some of the nation's and, in fact, the international community's best talent.
So I'm still not clear. Paula, are you convinced that he can do the experiments?
For the genes that he identifies.
The young scientists selected by the committee will receive precious seed money, growing new, innovative approaches to curing cancer.
Look at his library of proteins that he created. Most foundations, they act on the advice of a small board, and that would advise them how to spend the money. Concern put in the effort to assemble a team of scientists of various expertise that cover a wide range of area, and that ensures good science to be funded.
Millions of cancer patients all over the world are depending on good science in order to find a cure. Over the past 4 decades, with the help of more than 10,000 contributors, Concern Foundation has funded more than 500 research projects conducted in some of the world's finest medical institutions. Many of these projects have dramatically increased the survival of cancer patients, as can be seen at Children's Hospital, Los Angeles.
We see coming through the halls of Children's Hospital Los Angeles here 300 to 500 newly diagnosed children with cancer every year now. We're the largest center in the country for treating children with cancer. When I started out in this field, about 20% of the patients, maybe 30%, could be expected to survive their cancer. More recently, with the treatment programs that we've developed here through the ideas that were started by Concern Foundation funding, the new treatment protocol we have used has more recently produced long-term survivals. When we are able to successfully treat a child, they have a whole life in front of them. That's what makes this job worthwhile.
While lives have been saved by successful new research, the demand for a cure for cancer necessitates that more young scientists receive funding so that their idea could be the one that cures cancer.
What's hard to find are the funds to start new people off.
Cancer research is a very torturous and unrewarding way of life.
Particularly for junior faculty, they don't have the resource.
It is very hard for young investigators to get seed money.
What truly makes Concern Foundation different than any other charity is that we are funding young researchers, seed dollars.
You know, she's clearly gifted. She's got a lot of support from her institution.
The preliminary data is really excellent.
The 50,000 for her is going to make a huge difference.
Seed money is absolutely the critical step. The big leaps have come from conceptual advances that really start in the mind of someone, a new approach on how to look at something.
Meet Dr. Renata Strapecki, a cancer researcher at the University of Southern California's School of Medicine.
Leukemia patients with acute myeloid leukemia, they have 30% or lower chances of survival.
Dr. Strapecki is one of many scientists who received seed money from Concern Foundation and is cutting a new path in cancer research.
We're trying to develop vaccines using the patient's own leukemia cells to induce immune response specifically against leukemia. Now we are in the process of moving that into a clinical trial. So if this clinical trial works, we expect to increase the survival chances for patients with acute myeloid leukemia. That means more people are going to survive if they present with acute myeloid leukemia.
Today, while millions of people all over the world are dealing with cancer, young scientists are desperately seeking the funds to help them.
Concern Foundation's efforts to put money in the hands of young investigators is fantastic.
Getting that idea, that seed from the mind onto the laboratory bench and then to the bedside of the patient, that really is the critical part of the success of such research. That's the kind of critical step the Concern Foundation has helped to make possible for us and for research scientists throughout the world.
This understanding of the significance of basic cancer research originated in 1968 in the minds of those who got Concern started. Concern Foundation was created by 14 couples compelled to action over the loss of a dear friend.
We were a bunch of young kids. We decided we would try to raise money for cancer research. 14 couples, we put all of our friends' names on a list, and we wrote letters.
My mother had passed away from cancer, and I wasn't satisfied with the organization that I set up a fund with. Their expenses were so huge that it wasn't getting to the right place.
My sister had joined Concern shortly after the first 14 couples had founded it. And then my sister came down with cancer, and it was a death sentence for her at that time. So she asked me, would I take a role and be a fundraiser? You get involved because this is a terribly insidious disease that strikes all families.
The more money that we can get, the more scientists we can support, and the more research will be done. And eventually, the proper research will lead us in the right direction.
The reality of cancer has motivated Concern Foundation to establish many ways to raise funds for cancer research. Concern Foundation's signature event, an annual block party, now raises more than $1 million per year. The money raised from Concern Foundation's sponsors, members, events, tributes, and fundraisers help millions of people around the world because more cancer research and advancements are being made possible. Concern Foundation's dedication to eradicating cancer is crystal clear when it comes to donations. Through a strong, committed core of volunteers and a conscientious effort to keep administrative costs to a minimum, a staggering 93 cents of every dollar raised by Concern goes directly to cancer research.
93 cents of every dollar plus is going to the bottom line. We're in business to put an end to cancer.
Every single dollar is that important.
Concern Scientific Committee reviews roughly 160 grants every 2 years. But due to limited funds, only about 1 in 5 actually receive grants.
There isn't a single person in Concern Foundation that wouldn't like to see each and every one of those researchers of a minimum of $50,000 funded. Unfortunately, we're not there. We're granting more money than we've ever done before.
There's so much more to be done.
It would be wonderful if a higher percentage of these innovative projects could be funded by this agency.
Concern needs your help to fund young scientists with fresh, new ideas in the fight against cancer.
Well, there's no breakthrough in science unless someone has think of something really new.
We have reached a point of diminishing returns with available cancer therapy. It's no longer acceptable in the 21st century to deliver more chemotherapy, more radiation therapy, more surgery. New novel therapies are necessary.
If you would like to help cancer research, if you would like to support it, do it the way Concern does.
We're looking for people that are of all ages, all creeds, that have a common bond, and that is wanting to put an end to cancer.
From the mind to the microscope to the cure. It's your support that will fund even more scientists with new ideas to conquer cancer now.